Hi everyone, Danny here with Ground State Tarot, coming to you with the Lunar New Year Fire Horse main energy for 2026 for ENFP campaigners using the 16 personalities test, which I will include a link to when I post the video. And just to give you a little background on the Fire Horse energy for the year, this year is about being bold, being courageous, taking action, riding momentum, letting that drive you to a certain goal that you've been working on for, the past couple of years, past couple of months, something that you've had in the back of your head for a while now. This year is the year to get that propulsion, to see it through to the end. But you need to be mindful of not burning through and not being erratic and not being impulsive, not letting that action, that passion burn out and crash and burn. So, also as a reminder, the first card that I will be covering will be your optimal year. The second card is the suboptimal energy. Third card is the point of stagnation. The fourth card is the way through. Fifth is the assertive type advice, and the sixth card is the turbulent type advice. So the theme for this year for ENFP campaigners is excellence. Do your best. I love the images on this oracle. And then we get flying a kite from the Peanuts deck, which I will cover at the end. So with excellence, do your best as the anchor, it's telling me that this year your optimal energy is the Four of Swords, which is, what did I say? This year is the year, I should say, of taking it a little bit and this is counterintuitive. Taking it slower in order to gain momentum, okay? There's a point this year where in order for you to keep that momentum going, you need to take moments of rest. In order for you to stay being excellent and stay doing your best, you need to be in tip-top form. And how does that usually happen? When you give yourself the right type of self-care, the right kind of rest, the right kind of nutrition. You are holistically covering your healing practices, the things that bring you rest, the things that bring a respite from the stress of trying to get these goals to manifest, whatever it is. It's a lot, right? Creating the life that you want takes a lot of energy. And so it is important for you to remember that you cannot keep plowing through this year, despite the fire horse energy that might nudge us to kind of want to do that. You're going to have to show some restraint and know when to take a step back and rest in order to keep the momentum going. How do I know that? The suboptimal energy is the Fool. Typically, the Fool is the energy that we want when we want to kind of keep things going because it leaps, it goes for it. It doesn't care if it doesn't have all the details. But this is actually your suboptimal energy this year. So you need to be mindful of not launching into things before you've done all of the research. And again, how do I know this? Because your point of stagnation is the King of Pentacles. It's the builder, the one who is able to accumulate, like the banker, sort of, right? Someone who has done all of the work to amass resources in a sustained way that can also provide to others and not just to him or herself. Your point of stagnation is launching into that energy, thinking that you're still doing your excellence, your best, your most excellent, and it's not. Why? Because if you look at this card with that butterfly in the Fool card being distracted by the quote unquote shiny object, right? That is going to end up being your point of stagnation if you follow that through this year without doing the research, the stillness, the meditation, the reflection, the pre-production, the preparation. That's what this card is saying. Okay, in order for you to really truly be able to sustainably become the King of Pentacles and launch into this new era, this new adventure, this new project, again, you need to stay connected to yourself and any higher power, any higher source, anything that sort of renews you and rejuvenates you. You need to stay connected to that so that you don't make false moves. The way through with the Ace of Cups is indeed staying connected to your spirituality, your intuition, staying connected to love, keeping your heart open to receiving the signs that come when you are indeed connected to your intuition. It is from that place that you want to function to truly be excellent from a sustainable place and from an authentic place. So you can truly do your best when you are refreshed with a full cup, trusting that the beautiful things in life that you dream of, that you hope for, are within reach if you take the time to rest, to recuperate, and to reflect before you launch onto new things that are going to take a lot of dedication to see them through. A lot of commitment. There's a lot of commitment energy here that is required, and you need to be aware of that. The advice for the assertive types with the Knight of Pentacles, I like to call the Knight of Pentacles the farmer of the tarot. This is discipline, this is consistency, this is a little slower, but it's progression nonetheless and evolution. This is the card of evolution. And it's also the healer card. I like to call the Knight of Pentacles the healer card because you cannot heal without determination, without persistence, without consistency, without discipline. You need all of that to heal. So it's important that these two come together, these two energies come together this way to keep you from making foolish decisions that are erratic, that are impulsive, that are too much in tune with the fire horse energy, and it will cause you to crash and burn and not be able to reach this place of sustained King of Pentacles energy. It'll actually cause it to stagnate and pause if you don't approach it slow and methodically. The advice for the turbulent types is to stop overthinking your next move. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself to always be doing your best that you cause yourself paralysis of analysis because you are not sure of what move to make and when to make it, and that therefore causes you to move before you should, with this Fool energy being diagonally to this Nine of Swords, and with this Nine of Swords being beneath the King of Pentacles. It's genuinely telling me you run the risk of running into a burning house thinking you have all of the equipment to take the fire out, and when indeed it's just going to end up consuming you. You need to really approach your overthinking, your nightmares, your anxiety, your fear and uncertainty about how to stay in this energy, how to sustain this energy of excellence. You run the risk of becoming your own worst enemy. But if you remember to temper this energy, because it's normal to get overwhelmed. It's normal to see the goal ahead of you, the path ahead of you, and it's normal for you to think, I don't know if I've got it in me. But you do have it in you. You do. That's the way through. You need to pause. You need to reflect. You need to refresh your energy. You need to ground yourself. This is the card of grounding, right? So again, before you launch onto new projects, new relationships, new ideas, new endeavors that are going to require a long haul effort, it behooves you to be slow and methodical and compassionate and healing, intentionally healing with the way that you approach your thoughts and your fears and your anxiety, and lean into this higher self, higher purpose, God, spirituality, love, your community, wherever you get that refreshment feeling from, lean into it this year, because it will, again, counterintuitively help you take a step back to then propel forward. And with the flying kite from the Peanuts gang, let's see what this has to tell us to round out the message. Flying kite. I just had you. Here we go. 59. Flying a kite. Occasionally it feels like the world is just trying to beat us down. However, no matter how many times Charlie Brown was knocked down or just could not succeed at something, he knew not to give up. Yes. That comes back around. This idea of excellence, this idea of not backing down, doing what you need to do to stay refreshed, to stay connected to your heart and to your intuition, to your soul, resting, rejuvenating, healing yourself, slow and steady, getting rid of any of stinking thinking. Don't give up. Despite frustrating encounters with the kite-eating tree, there's nothing that can stop Charlie Brown. Sometimes all we need is a good breeze, a smidge of self-confidence, and a little bit of luck. Then boom, we have an airborne kite. While having a team to rely on is great, we often need a bit of confidence in ourselves, and that's when we truly soar. And when you're feeling stuck, when you're feeling like things are going too slow, it is important to take a step back. And again, zoom out, be able to gain perspective, right? You see this dog here laying down and sort of being able to zoom out and see the wider picture, everything else involved, the scenery of complacency, of joy, of rest. But coming through that connection, staying connected, there's a sense of staying connected to community with this card, staying connected to your community, your tribe, and not isolating yourself. You don't heal by isolating, you heal by staying connected to your own community and yourself. And with the King of Wands on the bottom of the deck, this is indeed about regenerative, creative, magnetic, attracting power. And at the bottom of the deck, it's telling me, and the High Priestess kind of wanted to sneak up. Yes. What is that telling me? It's telling me that you will be refreshing your tank, so to speak. And when you are in this Four of Swords energy, just know that behind the scenes, this is what's happening. You're refreshing your King of Wands energy to then step back into the game once you've done the necessary resting to get back into the obstacle course and continue to do your best.